What has this been like for you to go from this guy who was this loved comedic actor, this stand-up comic, and then you kind of just sort of start walking on this path of talking about things and walking on this path where now, you have printed pieces of paper and you're standing there and you're reading things and you're showing videos and you're mocking this stuff. You brought printed pieces of paper with you? But what has this been like for you as a person to find yourself? Because I think in many ways we both kind of stumbled into this.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Look, I came on here when I was still like a movie actor. I came on, I think, the first time I came on, it was in your first 1,000 shows. I can't remember the exact number because that would be almost creepy if I did. But I remember just coming on, people and I'd not heard of it. Oh, there's this guy, Joe Rogan. It was that sort of time.
Yeah.
And I came on and I was sort of amazed by it. And do you know what I liked is the amount of personal authority that you had and the lack of compromise. You know, because you've worked in conventional entertainment as well, how much compromise that comes with, that you have to essentially, you have to turn up on time.
Producers and executives, and there's all sorts of people pulling the strings and telling you what to do.
Because when you said that thing, I remember when Kevin Smith came on and he'd offered you a part in a movie and you went, nah, man, I ain't getting up. I'm not going to be in a trailer at 4 a.m. And I thought, yeah. I loved making some of those movies I made. I'm pretty grateful coming from where I come from that I got to have all of those experiences. And it's it's giddy, it's amazing, it's exciting, it's euphoric and fulfilling in loads of ways. And actually met some really, really incredible people within that industry. It's not like it's solely awful and solely hollow. It was kind of amazing. But I think this was significant. I'd done sort of podcasts that were affiliated with BBC radio shows that I'd done, prior to becoming an actor. So I've always had those kind of conversations. And I suppose what it must be is because where I'm coming from, I come from a place called Essex, which is like the New Jersey of England. It's outside of London. It's blue collar, somewhat trashy. That's the kind of sort of place it is. I became a junkie relatively young, my late teens, early 20s. I was a heroin addict. And I feel like that when I had to get clean because it was getting out of control. And when I got clean, I was full of appetite and ambition and all of that kind of stuff. And it just was natural to become a stand-up comedian was an easier fit than an actor because of the collaborations and the requirements of it and the cooperation. And I love acting, but they're having to do what you're told actually is not it's not really who I am. So once that period of working, the people I work with, you say you don't like any aspect of this. You don't like dressing up, you don't like putting makeup on, you don't like getting up early, you don't like being told what to do, you don't like being directed. It's like you don't like any aspect of that profession. I like stand-up comedy because you live or die on your own merits.
Yeah.
So I had both of those competing things, but no one, I didn't have the strength of character to resist the allure of when I did an MTV show. Sandler came on it, Adam Sandler, and liked me and said, "Do you want to be in a movie, more or less?" I went in a movie with him. Then I met Judd Apatow and those people did those movies, and it was aspects of it, as I say, were incredible. And those people in particular, Judd Apatow and Sandler, were really amazing, lovely people. But after I came on here and during the I used to always talk about, I've always been anti-establishment. I've never trusted authority because of personal reasons. I didn't like school. If you're a drug addict, you get arrested sometimes because of shoplifting and because of possession of drugs. So I've always had that kind of relationship with authority. So when I started to be able to have my own voice, when this technology kind of opened up, when I realized, oh my God, I can just sort of do this, it really evolved. It started at the beginning of the pandemic. I was just sort of started commenting on it. I was in Australia when it started, and I do stuff online anyway. So I was saying, oh, this is going to be a weird time for all of us. And then it started to become clear that it was a perfect lens to observe how power operates, sort of an inability to question authority, agenda for profit, agenda to assert control, stuff that just didn't feel right for me. We started doing this stuff, and the guy I work with, Gareth, who's out there actually, who produces the show, he's not the same as me in terms of he's not like a radical anti-establishment person. He's, I guess you would call him a conventional liberal. So like in our preparation of the content, he was always like, we won't use anything unless it's already been, even if even moderately used in a mainstream media source. So he started to like look at like mainstream media sources that were saying stuff like that was counter to the dominant narratives that we were getting. And then I was able to sort of stitch those things together, basically using sort of stand-up, really, improvising around the news stories. That's all I was really doing, like the stuff with Stelter, Brian Stelter or whatever, you know, that stuff around you, or like then with the war narratives and the things that's happening now. So it kind of grew quite organically. Then like the YouTube audience got really big, and I started to, you know, we started to become like, oh my God, I can just do this for a job now. But then when I reached out to you and you said that's a shady platform, like YouTube as your primary platform, I was suggesting that you criticize YouTube in any untoward way. So when like Rumble came to me with an offer, like if you make us your primary home, if you do an hour a day streaming, you know, like I thought, right, okay, I'm going to be able to do this. And also I'm not going to have to do...
Are you live streaming on Rumble?
Yeah, I live stream every day, 12 p.m.
So it's
PST
not edited.
Or EST.
It's like you go live and then they can see it as you're doing it.
That's right. I do like I guess a sort of a live Daily Show type feel.
And is there a commentary section, like a live commentary where people can comment on it live during the show?
Yeah, people stay in the chat and I refer to the comments and stuff. And when those videos that you've watched before and I've seen you watch on this show, we still do one of those and we drop a pre-rec video which has been edited into it. That's like, you know, where we take a deeper look at something like, oh look, BlackRock have just done a deal with the Ukrainian government, or look at what some of the legislation that was passed prior to the Ohio train wreck or whatever, or look at how that shows a disjunct between the language around climate change and caring about the ecology and what happens when there's a legitimate environmental disaster. We're able to then sort of tie together facts in a way that's much more responsible. But in the live show, I'm just reacting to clips, doing essentially an opening monologue, jokes like that, and then we have a guest on for like a 20-minute interview. That's like the Daily Show that we do on there. And then like there's like a members thing within Rumbles now, locals. That's where you can people can subscribe for additional content, and in particular actually my stand-up special. I've got like another stand-up special which we're going to release on that platform, because I mean looking at ways that how do you do stand-up now, and because of what Schultz done, what Louis done, like more direct to the audience type ways of doing stand-up